now must your conscience my acquittance seal, and you must put me in your heart a friend. So if you have heard, with a knowing ear, that he which hath your noble father slain pursued my life, it well appears. But tell me why you proceeded not against these feats, so criminal, and so capital in nature, as by your safety, wisdom, all things else you mainly were stirred up. Though for two special reasons, which may to you perhaps seem much insinuate, and yet to me they are strong. The queen, his mother, lives almost by his looks. For myself, by virtue of my plague, be it either which, she's so conjunctive to my life and soul that, as the star moves not within his sphere, I could not put by her. The other motive why to a public account I might not go is the great love the general gender bear him, keeping all his faults and their affections wood, like the spring that turneth wood to stone, convert his guilts to graces, so that my arrows, too slightly timbered for so loud a wind, would have reverted to my bow again, and not where I had aimed them. And so have I. A noble father lost, a sister driven into desperate terms, whose worth, if praises may go back again, stood challenger on mount of all the age for her perfection. But my revenge will come. Take not your sleeps for that. You must not think that we are made of stuff so flattened, or that we can let our beard be shook with danger that we can pass like. You shortly shall hear more. I love your father, and we love ourselves, and that I hope will teach you to imagine. Now, what news? Letters, my lord, from Hamlet. These for your majesty, these distant queen. From Hamlet? Who brought them? Sailors, my lord, they say. I saw them not. They were given me by Claudia, but he received them of him that brought them. Ere you shall hear. Leave us. High and mighty, you shall know I am set naked on your kingdom. Tomorrow shall I beg leave to see your kingly eyes, when I shall, first asking your pardon, thereunto recount the occasion of my sudden and more strange return. Hamlet, what should this mean? Or will the rest come back, or is it some abuse and no such thing? No either hand, says Hamlet's character, naked. And in a postscript here he says, alone. Can you advise me? I'm lost in it, my lord, but let him come. It warms the very sickness in my heart that I shall live to tell unto his teeth, thus didst thou. If it be so, Laertes, as how should it be so, how otherwise? Will you be ruled by me? Will you be ruled by me? Aye, my lord, so you'll not all rule me to a peace, to thine own peace. If he be now returned, is checking at his voyage, and that he means no more to undertake it, I will work him to an exploit now ripe in my device, under the which he shall not choose but fall. And for his death, no wind of blame shall breathe. Then even his mother shall uncharge the practice and call it accident. My lord, I will be ruled. The rather if you could devise it so that I might be the orphan. It falls right. You've been talked of since your travels much, and that in Hamlet's hearing, for a quality wherein they say you shine. Your summer parts did not together pluck such envy from him as did that one, and that in my regard the unworthiest siege. What part is that, my lord? The very ribbon in the cap of youth, yet needful too. For youth no less becomes the light and careless livery that it wears, than settled age his sables and his weeds, importing health and greatness. Some 2 months since, here was a gentleman of Normandy. I have seen myself, and served against the French. They can well on horseback, but this gallant had witchcraft in it. He grew into his seat, to such wondrous doings but his horse, as he had been in corpse and demi-nature with the brave beast. So far he topped my thought, that I in forgery of shapes and tricks come short of what he did. A Norman was it? A Norman. Upon my life, Lamore. The very same. I know him well. He is the brooch indeed and gem of all the nation. He made confession of you, and gave you such a masterly report for art and exercise in your defence, and for your rapier most especially, that he cried out 'twould be a sight indeed, if one could match you. The scrimmers of the nation, he swore, had neither motion guard nor eye if you opposed them. Sir, this report of his did Hamlet so envenom with his envy, that he could nothing do but wish and beg your sudden coming on to play with him. Now, after this. What out of this, my lord? There it is. Was your father dear to you? Or are you like the painting of a son? A face without a heart? I ask you this. Not that I think you did not love your father, but that I know love is begun by time. And that I see in passages of proof, time qualifies the spark and fire of it. There lives within the very flame of love a kind of wick or snuff that will abate it. And nothing is ever like goodness still, for goodness, growing to a pleurisy, dies in his own too much. That we would do, we should do when we would. For this would changes, and hath abatements and delays as many as there are tongues, or hands, or accidents. And then this should is like a spendthrift sigh that hurts by easy. But, to the quick of the answer, Hamlet comes back. What would you undertake to show yourself your father's son in deed more than in words? cut his throat in the church. No place indeed should murder sanctuarize. Revenge should have no bounds. But good laertes, will you do this? Keep close within your chamber. Hamlet returned shall know you are come home. Or put on those shall praise your excellence and set a double varnish on the fame the Frenchman gave you. Bring you in fine together, and wager on your heads. He, being remiss, most generous, and free from all contriving, will not peruse the foils. So that with ease, or with a little shuffling, you may choose a sword unbaited, and in a passive practice, requite him for your father. My lord, I'll do it. For that purpose, I'll anoint my sword. About an unction of a mountebank, so mortal that but dip a knife in it. Where it draws blood, no cataplasm so rare. Collect it from all simples that a virtue under the moon can save the thing from death. It is but scratched with all. I'll touch my point of this contagion, that if I gall him slightly, it may be death. Let's further think of this. Wayward convenience both of time and means may fit us to our shape. If this should fail, and that our drift look through our bad performance, you're better not our saying. Therefore, this project should have a back or second that might hold if this be blast and proof. So, let me see. We'll make a solemn wager on your cunnings. I had. When in your motion you are hot and dry, as make your bouts more violent to that end, and that he calls for drink, I'll have prepared him a chalice for the nonce, whereon but sip. If you by chance escape your felon stuck, our purpose may hold there. Stay, but noise. One moment tread upon another's heels, so fast they follow. Your sister's drowned, Laertes. Drowned? Oh, where? There is a willow, grows askant the brook, that shows us hoar leaves in the glassy stream. There with fantastic garlands did she make of crowflowers, nettles, daisies, and long purples, that liberal shepherds give a grosser name, but our cold maids do dead men's fingers call them. There, on the pendant boughs her coronet weeds clamouring to hang, an envious sliver broke, when down her weedy trophies and herself fell in the weeping brook. Her clothes spread wide and mermaid like a while they bore her up, which time she chanted snatches of old lords, as one incapable of her own distress, or like a creature native and imbued into that element. But long it could not be, till that her garments heavy with the drink pulled the poor wretch from her melodious lay to muddy death. Alas, then she is drowned. Drowned. Too much of water hast thou, poor Ophelia, and therefore I forbid my tears. But yet it is our trick. Nature her custom holds, let shame say what it will. When these are out, the woman will be gone. When these are gone, the woman will be out. Adieu, my lord. I have a speech of fire that fain would blaze, but that this folly doubts it. Let's follow, Gertrude. How much I had to do to calm his rage. Now fear I this will give it start again. Therefore, let's follow.